If there is one thing I have clarity about regarding the relationship between the audience and films in India, is that there is no one that matches the madness and loyalty of the Telugu audience. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana has had decades of films, stars, and a rich culture of the big screen experience that has also been hugely conducive to celebrating cinema across languages. This is not just because of the volume of the population in the two states, but a genuine fandom for stories week in and week out. I have had some of the most memorable movie experiences in the Telugu language, as you can feel the energy of the audience as the films commence, everyone waiting in anticipation for the hero entry, for that banger of a song to drop so that everyone rushes to the screen to shake a leg. The celebration of commercial cinema is like nowhere else, and this has in turn created many stars that have had huge and loyal fan bases in the Telugu speaking states. What's something that fills my heart with joy is that the reception to generic films in the Telugu language recently, despite being led by capable stars, has been rather underwhelming. This is a testament that the audience has expectations beyond the routine template now, which made me wonder, of the reigning stars of Telugu cinema, who is the most versatile of them all? Which stars do not take their fandom for granted and actually make the active effort in transforming themselves for characters? Actors who can assimilate in various worlds that differ in pitch, having the capability to be unrecognizable, and more importantly, who constantly diversify their filmography versus fearing the expectations of the audience and in turn becoming slaves to the routine. So I thought I could carefully discuss and analyze 6 known stars from Telugu cinema and highlight several of their strengths and weaknesses based on the same criteria, and I hope you can chime in on the same too, as it would provide me great insight from those who have been watching Telugu cinema for more years than me. Let's talk about Mahesh Babu first. I wanted to first speak about this man, who I believe has one of the most loyal fan bases in the country. So much so that his financial duds also rake in box office collections that stars could dream of. While I posed this question on X, many scoffed at me, including Mahesh Babu, because most people assume him rather to be one tone, playing a larger-than-life hero who works for the cause of the downtrodden and does what is essentially morally good. However, this absolutely undermines what Mahesh Babu has attempted in various films. While everyone equates his impressive work to his blockbusters like Okadu and Pokiri, where he is playing a suave, sometimes ruffian but confident lead, people forget some of his most eccentric choices. Nijam is actually one of my favorites of Mahesh Babu, as he challenges a corrupt system and exacts revenge as a meek and initially non-confrontational G. Sitaram. Even though I found a film like Nani slightly unbearable, Mahesh Babu attempted a sci-fi comedy where he essentially played an adult with the mind of an 8-year-old. One Nano Kadane being the misfire I still convince people to watch. A stylized modern action flick that tethers the thin line between reality and illusion with our rockstar protagonist. A film like Businessman, where Mahesh Babu straight up played an anti-hero, a huge risk for a star who is usually expected to stick in the confines of what is morally right, and his character in this Puri Jagannath film literally breaks all the rules possible.
If you've seen my career, I've given amazing blockbusters, I've given disasters. It's the other edge of the spectrum. There's nothing in between in my career.
The issue, however, of most of the risks I am expanding on is that they underperformed at the box office, making Mahesh Babu resort to the routine for the unwavering love they have for him still celebrate. I hear that Mahesh Babu is keeping his look under wraps for the Rajamouli project, and there is nothing that is going to make me more ecstatic but to see Mahesh Babu being presented in an avatar like never before. I'm sure the wait is going to be worth it. Prabhas. Because I was introduced to Prabhas at a later stage in his career, when he rose to global fame with Bahubali, I was a part of the audience that was witness to the several missteps that followed. This, beyond the local Telugu fan base, has created a perception about the actor being rather limited in his ability as an actor. The roles that followed Bahubali presented rather weak and forgettable performances. He could not really contribute a charm to Radhesham, got heavily shortchanged in my opinion with Saho due to the convoluted screenplay, and a sense of spirituality and holiness was entirely missing with Lord Ram and Adipurush. However, if you see ventures like Mirchi, Billa and Chhatrapati, there is an undeniable zeal and energy that he brings to the mass commercial cinema spectacle. His towering presence, the intensity in his eyes, his baritone delivery all contribute to the image of the mass hero, which somewhat went missing post Bahubali, and one needs to be truthful and admit that. These are not versatile roles where you can completely disassociate from Prabhas the star. He fits the bill of the savior hero prototype, much like Salar, but does not seem to possess the range of an actor who can pull off a variety of roles where he is unrecognizable. Charan. This is an actor who I have progressively fallen in love with. That's different that I'm a Telugu noob, so my appreciation of him stems from what he brought to the table with exceptional films like Rangasthalam and RRR. But I love the tenacity and evolution of a man who was once considered to have a poker face and limited range. Chiranjeevi's son, the pressure is no joke when you come from the lineage of one of the most celebrated film families of Telugu cinema, and it has not been smooth sailing for the artist. Charan was ridiculed in the initial phase of his career for his lack of ability in front of camera, and his career over the years has also made people realize that he is a director's actor, soaring high to become brilliant with talented directors but falling flat on his face with mediocre ones.
I would love to always be associated with somebody who's more evolved than me if it's the director.
Yeah.
It makes my work look much larger, better, and my work easier.
At 23, to pull off a role in an epic and monstrous project like Magadira is a lot of pressure, and Charan soared with flying colours. However, it's almost painful to see him in movies like Zanjeer and Bruce Lee. Rangasthalam would be followed by Vinaya Vidya Rama, RRR would be followed by Acharya, and it's almost like a high-stakes gambling game with him at this point. Either it's a gem or a complete dud. At least that calls for some form of versatility, and at least the dancing is consistent. Junior NTR. This is an actor from Telugu cinema who many people consider is one of the strongest performers in the industry. An actor who has great dramatic and emotional range but never reached his true potential in the early years of his career due to being embroiled in several underwhelming projects. Fans of his craft especially used to feel frustrated because they could see his acting potential but would be annoyed of the routine films he would subject himself to. Gems like Adhurs and Temper are standouts, where in one he showcased his brilliant comic timing with a legend like Brahmi, and in another he added an emotional layer to a mass commercial cop film, representative of the last of the gems directed by Puri Jagannath. Much like Charan and ALU Arjun, Junior NTR has always been a fabulous dancer. This has stayed consistent despite his underwhelming films. With RRR, one clearly saw the physical dedication and emotional range of the star, who could surrender completely if the director and his story warranted it. He brought such a conviction and innocence to beam that people beyond the borders of Telugu cinema became extremely curious about his next project.
Before I knew, films were releasing, films were working, and then suddenly films stopped working. So but that burden pushed me to realize that there's something beyond what I'm doing as an actor.
And the fan in me is giddy with excitement on what may transpire with a massive project like War 2. Are you telling me there is a possibility I will see a dance-off between Junior NTR and Hrithik Roshan? I will be seated the moment it drops. I think post RRR, the sky is going to be the limit for the talented actor. ALU Arjun. While not being well versed with Telugu cinema, the two household names for us due to the television reruns of their classic films were Nagarjuna and ALU Arjun. This man had a spunk, energy and undeniable screen presence, which immediately drew us towards him. I remember vividly the day I became an ALU Arjun fan. It was when in 2013 the dance number Toplessy Podi dropped, and I was in awe of the superhuman ability of the man with his effortless footwork and nimbleness. This is a man who has a fan base not only in the Hindi-speaking states, but in the state of Kerala too, where he is beautifully referenced as Malu Arjun. This is due to the repeat value of movies like Arya and Happy, where the audience could not help themselves but be drawn towards his aura. I remember seeing the dance numbers of Arya 2 on repeat. I just could not get over the ability of the star and how effortless he was with choreography. As he becomes a pan-Indian star with AVPL and Pushpa becoming all the rage, the point is he was always a pan-Indian star, just that it was restricted to the confines of our TV sets up north. The man made a mid-movie like Pushpa watchable for me, and I know these are harsh words, but it's only his magnetic screen presence and range that made me hoot and cheer for the film and its moments. So one stays seated for what he pulls off with part 2 and the future, because I can only see his fan base increasing in the future years to come. Nani. This man is my favorite actor from the Telugu film industry, something that I've always admitted. An actor whose creative choices fascinate me so much. A true student of the craft, having assisted on film sets since a very young age, having made it in an industry that is mainly ruled by film families, a chapter of nepotism that often gets overlooked. Yet the natural star has made a niche for himself in several interesting tales.
When you're doing everything for success, success never comes, is what I feel. When you're doing genuinely trying to do something which you really believe in, I think that will also follow. So giving that much of weight to success is definitely, I feel, is not the right thing.
It assimilates so beautifully in the mass commercial genre, the heartfelt romantic storylines, and even projects that have socio-political importance. He is that one actor who I believe truly is in it for the craft of storytelling. And while people absolutely admire and love him for films like Jersey, I would highly recommend you see a young Nani in films like Ashtachama and even a remake like Pilla Zamindar. You just see glimpses of an actor who is only going to soar to higher ground. With missteps here and there, I am always so keen to notice what Nani has up his sleeve, how he can surprise us with his performance, and that is all a result of a constant pursuit to diversify his filmography. Ante Sundara Nikki, Shyam Singha Roy, Jersey, Hi Nana, Dasara, I am seated for all of it. He might not have the same rabid fan bases like other Telugu film stars, but I have a deep appreciation for his energy being directed towards simply enhancing the craft of acting and working towards storytelling and putting Telugu cinema on the global map. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below, who do you feel is the most versatile star from Telugu cinema? Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle is right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.